I think I got disconnected, so I'll start all over, or not all over, but basically, right? The perfume this woman had is really expensive, right? And she's pouring it over Jesus. Hopefully, people will come back in. Anyway, she's pouring it over him, and yeah, it's incredibly expensive. Yes, I'm back. Sorry. um, so as I was saying, right, this ointment was really expensive, and she pours it out all on to Jesus, right, and unknowingly to her and really the people at this dinner, what she's doing is preparing Jesus for his burial, which is coming, like you said, in the next couple of days, right? Because that's what people did when people died. You would wrap them in ointment and wrap them in those bandages, right, kind of like a mummy, right? And that's what they would do, and that's what she is. She doesn't know that she's doing that, but that's what she is doing, right? And here we see the second response to Jesus, right? The woman gives Jesus her everything, right? Everything for 1 year. She's worked 1 year for this amount of money, $30,000, and she gives it away in a blink of an eye, right? In the blink of an eye. And I think that's crazy if you think about it, right? Sometimes we're afraid to worship because we're afraid of how people might see us, right? Sometimes we're afraid of how we're perceived, like how what people might think, right? Sometimes we hold back our offering money because we want to save it and we want to buy that piece of candy later, or we want to buy that one app, right? But as we can see, what the proper response to Jesus is to give him everything, like literally everything, right? That means it doesn't matter how poorly you sing, you should sing out loud. And, I practiced that in full this past Sunday, right? Sing out loud, right? But more seriously, like when you're giving offering, like don't worry about like, oh man, what am I missing by giving this away, right? Or like when we're reading our Bibles, it's not like, oh man, like I could be spending my time playing games right now instead of reading the Bible, right? But what we see in this woman is a person who realizes what Jesus has given her and probably healing, right? And just allowing her and forgiving of her sins, that she has no choice but to give literally everything she has for this guy. So our application is to give Jesus our everything, and that everything looks different for all of us, right? But as long as it is your thing in that moment, that's I think what we can do, right? And the last part of our sandwich, the bottom piece of the sandwich, right? The bottom bread that always gets soggy, that's always like falling apart when you're eating your sandwich or your hamburger, right? That bottom part, this is it. We're getting there, right? This is it,